Hello, my name is Rick Crow, and I'm from East Carolina University. I will be presenting a brief review of web application security risks and web application firewalls, or WAFs, for the ICTN 6870 Advanced Network Security class. The agenda for the presentation is as follows: to provide a review of web applications, a review of web application security risks, a review of web application vulnerabilities, and a review of web application firewalls. Before we discuss what web application firewalls are, let's review what web applications are and why it is important to protect them. So what is a web application? According to TechTarget, a web application, or web app, is an application program that is stored on a remote server and delivered over the internet through a browser interface that typically performs some function for the user. Some examples of common web applications are webmail, e-commerce, internet banking, blogs, online auction sites, and browser-based video games, just to name a few. So why is it important to protect web applications? Firstly, in order to provide their content, access needs to be granted to these front-end web applications. Secondly, web applications are delivered through browser interfaces via the HTTP or HTTPS protocol, which were not initially designed with security or for how we are utilizing them today. Finally, today's web applications are complex. They utilize languages and scripts like HTML5, Java, JavaScript, PHP, Ruby, Python, and ASP.NET to not only provide a rich user interface, but to provide content from backend systems like databases. The backend systems can contain information like credit card numbers, health information, sensitive company data, or other types of sensitive information. The fact that these front-end systems can access information from the back-end systems makes them a target of malicious users. According to Gartner, web applications were the #1 attack pattern leading to a data breach in 2017. In order to understand how web applications can be compromised, it is important to understand the security risks they face. So important that the Open Web Application Security Project, or OWASP, was created. OWASP is a worldwide not-for-profit charitable organization that is focused on improving the security of software. They publish a list of their top 10 application security risks called the OWASP Top 10. This list is geared towards helping individuals and organizations make informed decisions when it comes to securing web application software. Their current top 10 security risks are shown on this slide and includes things like injection vulnerabilities, security misconfigurations, and insufficient logging and monitoring. The list and full details of each risk, along with ratings, can be found at the URL on the bottom of the slide. This slide contains a list of specific vulnerabilities that web applications face. To understand the relationship between the front-end web application servers and how they can be utilized to compromise back-end systems, I will detail a few of them. First is cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting is a type of injection where malicious scripts are injected into otherwise benign trusted websites. Cross-site scripting can be used to steal session tokens, initiate hidden transactions, display false content, or even load keyloggers that can steal a victim's password. And all a victim has to do is navigate to a site that has been compromised. Second is injection. Injection happens when input that is provided by external sources contains hidden application commands. If a web application does not properly filter inputs, it could allow these commands to be passed through to backend systems and be executed, thereby compromising backend systems or stealing data from backend systems. SQL injection is a common form of injection attack, as applications depend on SQL statements built by user input to retrieve information or log the user in. Third is sensitive data disclosure. Sensitive data disclosure happens when a web application does not properly protect sensitive data. Sensitive data can be compromised because of lack of encryption at rest or in transit. Protecting data as it is exchanged with the browser is an important part of keeping the sensitive data secure. Lastly is insecure deserialization. Object serialization converts an object into a data format. Deserialization reads the structured data and builds an object from it. Insecure deserialization often leads to remote code execution, which could compromise a system. Additionally, insecure deserialization can be used to perform replay attacks, injection attacks, and privilege escalation attacks. As you can see from this slide, there are many more vulnerabilities that web applications face, like session hijacking, man-in-the-middle attacks, man-in-the-browser attacks, and many more. And this list is not all-inclusive. This is where web application firewalls come into play. A web application firewall, or WAF, is an application firewall for HTTP applications. It applies a set of rules to an HTTP conversation. Generally, these rules cover common attacks such as cross-site scripting, SQL injection, cookie poisoning, invalid input, Layer 7 denial of service, brute force and credential stuffing, and web scraping, just to name a few. While proxies generally protect clients, WAFs protect servers. A WAF can be a physical appliance, a virtual appliance, software, a server plugin, a filter, or be provided as a service. As stated previously, in order for web applications to provide their content, access needs to be granted to the web application servers. This can expose these servers to attacks from malicious users. In order to protect web applications, WAFs are deployed in front of a web application server and are a type of reverse proxy. Connections from clients pass through the WAF before reaching the backend server. This allows the WAF to apply security policies to the traffic and prevent any malicious traffic from reaching the web application server itself. This diagram shows a basic setup utilizing a physical appliance. A WAF helps protect backend or web application servers by proxying the connection from the client to the web app server so the client never actually talks directly to the web application server. While a WAF cannot mitigate all of the risk on the OWASP Top 10, it can provide protection for many common vulnerabilities. From the previous slides, you can see that web applications face many vulnerabilities. So the most obvious advantage to utilizing a web application firewall is that it will help protect web application software from being exposed to these vulnerabilities. This is especially true for software that is developed in-house by an organization, as they may not always follow the best secure coding practices. A second advantage to utilizing a web application firewall is that it can help protect legacy applications. These are applications that may still be required, but there may be no updates available for them. Another advantage to utilizing a web application firewall is that even if a vulnerability exists on a backend server, that backend server can be protected by the web application firewall until it can be patched or upgraded. Web application firewalls can provide a lot of security functionality for web applications. However, there are some challenges to utilizing web application firewalls. The first challenge is that whenever applications are updated, the web application firewall may require updates to signatures or configurations. This lends to the second challenge of web application firewalls, which is the administrative complexity of managing the web application firewall on an application-by-application basis. Even with the challenges of operating a web application firewall, I think any organization that is hosting web applications should consider utilizing a WAF. In summary, web applications typically provide a service to users, are stored on a remote server, are delivered over the internet through a browser interface, and they are susceptible to many vulnerabilities. A web application firewall is an application firewall for HTTP applications that applies a set of rules to HTTP conversations to help protect them against the vulnerabilities they face. There are many aspects to web application and web application firewalling that I could not cover in this brief review. If you would like more information, here are some references to get you started. Thank you for watching my presentation.